Hey guys, it's Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing, and it's time for my wrap up for the Rainbowthon. Now I know I'm a few days late with my weekly wrap up. I wasn't really well the weekend between some sort of flu / allergies all on top of one another, so you can probably still hear it in my voice, so I'm sorry, and I probably look like hell, so if you run away screaming from the screen, forgive me. I hope to be back in a couple of days feeling my old self. So let's just get on with it. So I already did my TBR, so most of you guys already know what I'm reading, and then you're just going to see what I read anyway now. So the first book I read was American Gods by Neil Gaiman, which was also the book of the month for the Little L Book Club. I was expecting a little bit more from this book. I wasn't really mad about it. I'm not sure if it really just didn't connect with me. While I recognise that the writing was very good in it and the concept of it was really, really clever, I just wasn't crazy about it. It's basically about a guy called Shadow who gets out of prison. He finds out his wife is dead. He doesn't really have anything to go back to. He doesn't really know what he's doing. And he meets this mysterious guy called Mr. Wednesday on the plane. And it turns out Mr. Wednesday ends up employing him. He knows there's something odd about Mr. Wednesday, and it turns out that Mr. Wednesday is some sort of old god. So he's basically embroiled, kind of dragged into this big kind of war between old gods and new gods, with the old gods being, Odin and Aphrodite and Easter and all these different crazy, legends that we would have heard about in myths and stories. And then the new gods are like the internet and TV and motorways, and it's really, really clever. But I just found it really, really depressing. It's quite a gloomy book. I feel like I think it is becoming a movie. I think Neil Gaiman announced this week that it is going to become a movie, but I think if it was a movie, it would almost all be in black and white, because it's really, really dreary. I found it really dreary. I wasn't really crazy, flipping through the pages to find out what happened. I kind of just trudged along with it. So yeah, I wasn't really feeling it. So I gave it 3 stars. I think overall my liking of the book would be 2.5 stars, but because I recognise that Neil Gaiman is a very, very good writer, the actual writing was of a very high standard in the book itself. It's just the story didn't grip me, so I gave it a 3 stars overall. So yeah, I will definitely check out more of his books though, because I've heard really good things about his books, so I will check out more. Just this one itself just wasn't for me, I don't think. And then I picked up Every Day by David Levithan, and I'm so glad I picked this book up after American Gods, because it brought me right back into I felt a bit slumpish after reading American Gods because I hadn't enjoyed it, and this book just brought me back. It was so amazing. This book is about you can't even call him a boy. He's this entity called A, and I'm just going to say he for the sake of the story, because I can't really tell if it's a he or a she. He's kind of more of an it, more of a consciousness. He wakes up in a different body every single day, so he never knows whether he's going to wake up as a boy or a girl, if he's going to be gay, if he's going to be straight, if he's going to be transsexual, if he's going to be bisexual. He has no idea. The body itself, who he's going to be. Where A himself, he's more like of a consciousness, of a soul. So he loves a person for their soul. He loves a person for how they are. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter, whether they're a boy or a girl to him. So he's kind of trudging along every day, just trying to do his best to keep these people's lives, not try and mess up their lives too much. He tries to go about their normal day as if, they are themselves. And then he wakes up in the body of Justin, and he has a girlfriend called Rhiannon, and A falls completely in love with Rhiannon, and then he ends up trying to tell her who he is, that he's not Justin, that he's A, and it's just amazing. And it's one of those books that makes you ask all these questions. It's quite a bittersweet book. It's very thoughtful, heartfelt, just all these different amazing questions about who we are, what makes us who we are. Is it our bodies? Is it our souls? How do we love? Do we love people for their body? Do we love people for their souls? Like, if someone we loved wasn't themselves, would we still love them? If they were in a completely different body, would we still love them, even if their souls were the same? So I really enjoyed it. I flew through it. I think I only read it in a day. I ended up having this really long train delay one of the mornings that I read this, so I ended up reading most of it on that train delay, because it was just so good. And I just came out of it while I felt it was such a bittersweet ending, I still felt really, really just happy because I read this book. And I got the sequel, which is Another Day, which is all about Rhiannon. I got that sequel from NetGalley, so I am really, really, really looking forward to reading that because I think it's going to be so good. So good. 5 out of 5 stars for this, and if anyone hasn't read it, I would definitely say to read it, because it's just, for me, it was one of those books that just blew my mind. It completely just changed my way of thinking, and it's just so amazing. So obviously that was my orange book as well. So after Every Day, I picked up The Land of Stories, The Enchantress Returns by Chris Colfer for my purple book, and this is basically about Alex and Connor, who are twins, and in the first book, which is called The Wishing Spell, they ended up kind of being sucked into this fairy tale book, and they end up meeting all these amazing characters, you know, Goldilocks, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, all these different characters, and they had this great adventure in the first book, and this is basically about them returning to the Land of Stories. So they're a little bit older in this one. They are 13 years old, where in the other one I think they're about 11 or 12. So this one they go back because their mother is after being kidnapped by the Enchantress, who is basically, she is Maleficent, I guess. She is the person who tried to curse Sleeping Beauty. So they need to go back and they need to try and figure out a way how to save not only their mother, but the Land of Stories from this evil Enchantress. So they go on this amazing, crazy adventure. They meet all these other new characters and old characters are both in it. We find out a little bit more about Red Riding Hood, which I really love. She was this great character in the first one, so she's in this one more as well. And again, she's just so funny. I don't want to spoil it too much by telling you what she's like, because the first one is great and seeing what all these characters are like and their personalities in the first book. So I don't want to spoil it by telling you what kind of personality she has, but we do find out more about her and a little bit more time with her in this book, and she's just so funny. She made me laugh. I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked it. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I'll keep on reading the series because they're just a little bit of, you know, fairy tale fun, and I really, really enjoy reading them. And the covers are always beautiful, which always helps as well. And then I moved on to my yellow book, which is Terry Pratchett, The Colour of Magic, which is his first Discworld novel. So I decided to take the plunge. Can't talk. I decided to take the plunge and go into the Discworld world to start reading these novels, and there are so many of them. Oh my god. So I had no idea where to start. I was very so this is, as you can see, all of these are all Discworld novels, so I had no idea where to start. So I was like, I'm just gonna go from one and go from there, we'll see. So I didn't really know what to expect, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because it ended up being just this absolutely wacky tale of this wizard who meets this kind of traveller / tourist with a trunk with legs. This guy has a trunk called luggage, which is his luggage, and this luggage has legs and kind of has his own mind, and you know, everyone's scared of it because it can eat people and tear people apart, and it likes to follow its owner everywhere, and it's just crazy. This book is so crazy, but I really, really enjoyed it. They're quite easy to read. They're only about, this one's about 280 pages, and then they're quite short. Like the pages themselves are quite short. Like it's a little book, so you can fly through it quite quickly. I found. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Just because I just had a fun time reading. While it makes no sense, it kind of makes a lot of sense at the same time. You kind of have to go into it not expecting it to make any sense and being okay with that, and then I think you'll enjoy it. If you don't, if you're trying to get something that has this amazing plot, don't, because you don't even really know what the plot is for a lot of it. It's just kind of this crazy goings on. So yeah, I can't even explain it because it's just so weird. But yeah, it was good. 4 out of 5 stars. And then I did go on to the second one, which I actually haven't finished yet. I've kind of been just doing a few pages every night, which is The Light Fantastic, which is just kind of continuing on with characters we found in The Colour of Magic, and again, wacky, wonderful, weird, quite enjoyable. So yeah, I'll probably give it a 3.5, 4 out of stars as well, but I haven't finished it yet. I'm about 250 pages in, and there's about 280 in this one as well, so I'll probably finish it tonight or tomorrow. I'm not too pushed into finishing it all straight away, I'm pretty okay with just reading a few pages a night till I have to bring it back to the library. So yeah. And then I finished my read book on Monday. Yes, on Monday, which was Paper Towns by John Green, and I was rereading this both for the Rainbowthon and then the biannual Bibliothon, which was the group book, and as well the movie is coming out. It's coming out in America in July, but it's not coming out here in the UK and Ireland until August, which I'm really annoyed about because I want to watch it right now. But yeah, I reread this. I forgot little different things because I first read this in 2013. The end of 2013 was when I read this originally. So yes, I did really enjoy it. I liked going back to the characters, finding out different things that I'd forgotten, like Radar's parents' Black Santa collection, which made me laugh. And just different things, and how Ben was so crazy about prom, and how Lacey kind of came and kind of redeemed herself in the eyes of Q, and just Margot, everything about Margot. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I gave 4 stars, I think, and yeah, it's just, you know, it's a typical John Green book. It has kind of a collection of different teenage characters, and teenage angst, and, you know, unrequited love. I always enjoy a John Green book. I know some people don't like him, but I do enjoy him. This was my first John Green book that I ever read, so it was the book that kind of turned me onto John Green, so I'm really happy about that. So this book will always be kind of special to me because it introduced me to the world of John Green's writing, so that's why I enjoy it so much. And yeah, I'll probably reread it again in a couple of years when I have forgotten about Radar's parents' Black Santa collection again, and I'll relive that comedic value again. So yeah, 4 out of 5 stars, and I would say if anyone is debating reading it, to just go on and read it. You never know, you might like it. So yes, that was my Rainbowthon, which I did pretty well. I ended up reading 4 books altogether for the week, and then yeah, and then it kind of these 2 were both kind of Monday-ish finishes. So I would have finished this if I wasn't reading other books for the biannual Bibliothon. So yeah, excuse me. So yeah, and I hope that you guys had a really good Rainbowthon if you read it, or otherwise just a good reading week. So let me know what you guys are reading, what you have read, and I will see you guys again. So bye.